Welcome back, guys. This is week 6. We're almost over with this third partial. So this is what we saw in our last class. We didn't place the topic's name. We saw the definition of slope. We said that it was a ratio of the vertical change to the horizontal change. I explained that a ratio is a comparison. Then I gave you two formulas. The first one, m, the slope will be represented as an m, is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 when you have 2 points. Then I told you that it is also the rise over the run, and it's also the change in the y-axis over the change on the x-axis. And if the rise was positive, it goes up. If it's negative, it goes down. The run, if it's positive, it goes to the right toward the right numbers on the x-axis. And if it's negative, it goes to the left, wherever it goes to the left axis, negative signs. You can see this is the coordinate plane. On the top, the positives. That's why it goes up. At the bottom, negatives on the y. That's why the rise goes down. Run, positive on the right. On the x-axis, we have the positive numbers here and the negative numbers here on the left. So it makes sense. Then we defined slope-intercept form as a linear equation of a non-vertical line written as y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope, always m is the number next to the variable x with the sign that it has, and b will be the y-intercept, and the y-intercept is exactly that point where it touches the y-axis. That's why a vertical line cannot be written in this form. These are the 4 types of slopes that we saw also. We saw positive slope to the right, negative slope to the left, slope 0, completely horizontal, and it means that we got 0 divided by a number, and undefined, completely vertical, and that is when we have a number divided by 0. Since we cannot divide by 0, that's why we call it undefined. We did 2 exercises with 2 given points, and you were left with 2 extra exercises that you're supposed to have already in your notebook and already solved and ready in your device just to upload. If I tell you in the next class, okay, guys, let's upload right now the extra exercises so you don't lose those extra points. So after all of that, finally, we are going to start graphing with the second method, graphing with the method that we're actually interested on. Now, what do we need? We need to place the date. Today is February 8th, 2022. And we need to remember this formula, this other formula, and when it's up, down, right, or left. Okay, so the formula of slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. M is rise over run. This I explained it already. And also, when we have fractions with a negative sign right in the middle, like in this case, negative 1/2, you're going to see here in the rise and the run that you need to decide where that negative sign goes. It could go with the numerator, it will be negative 1/2, or it could go with the denominator, 1 over negative 2. And all of 3 are exactly the same thing. All of them represent exactly the same number. It's just that you need to decide where the negative sign goes, okay? Now, let's begin with the first exercise. So we got y equals 3/4x minus 2. The first thing that you need to do when you are going to graph with this method, slope-intercept form method, is to notice that your variable y is alone and positive in one side. If your variable y is not completely alone and positive in one side, you need to transform that equation and make the variable y to be completely alone and positive in one side. In this case, exercise 1, y equals 3/4x minus 2. Is it completely alone in one side, the variable y, and positive? Yes, right? Okay, so we good. We can start identifying m and identifying b. Like I said, m, the slope, is always a number next to the variable. So in this case, variable x. So in this case, what is my slope? What is my slope?
3/4x.
3 over 4, only the number without the variable. So 3 over 4. Very good. Now, my intercept y will be b, including the sign that it's in front of it as well. Okay, the constant is b. So in this case, what is my constant?
-2.
-2. Very good. Now, since this is an intercept, we need to write it in intercept form. How do we write it? As an order form, as an order pair, sorry. We're going to write it as 0, always 0 because it's y-intercept. Remember, it's a point on top of this line. Therefore, coordinate x is 0, comma, the number that you just found. In this case, 0, comma, -2. Now, what else we need to do before graphing? We need to determine if the right goes up, down, and the run right, left, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. We're going to identify it. So the rise, 3, it's positive. So should it go up or should it go down?
Up.
Up, exactly, it goes up. And the run, +4, should it go to the right or should it go to the left?
Left.
To the left? This side?
To the right.
To the right.
To the right, because it is positive. So it goes to the right. But from the right or up, from where? From this point. Our next step is to graph the intercept. So since it is 0, -2, I'm going to graph it on top of the -2. So it is -1, -2 on the x-axis, okay? Now, what are we going to do? We're going to go with our rise and our run. It doesn't matter where you start. So Mosa, let's say, wanted to start with the run, but Valerie wanted to start with the rise. It doesn't matter. At the end, you're going to have exactly the same point. So I'm going to start with the rise first, and I'm going to show you with the other way around. So the rise is 3. So from this point, I count 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. Now my run is 4. We say that we go to the right. So from here, I count 4 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exactly that point is where I'm going to draw my second point, okay? What is next then? Next is for you to connect those 2 points with a straight line, okay? Using a ruler. So I'm going to do that and connect it with a straight line. And the line has to go through the middle of the points, okay? In order to make it really accurate. And that's it. That's all that we need to graph it with this second method. Nothing else. We just need 1 point and 1 slope. Easy peasy, breezy, lemon squeezy, right? So let's say, like I was saying, that Somoza wanted to start with the run. So from the intercept that she graphed, she counts 4 of the run. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3 of the rise. 1, 2, 3. And you see, it is exactly the same point. So it doesn't matter if you start with the rise first or the run first. At the end, you're still going to have exactly the same point. Questions? No? Okie dokie then. Let's go with the second exercise. We got -2y is equal to 4x minus 8. Is that in slope-intercept form? Can we just go ahead and identify the slope and the intercept like we did in this exercise?
No,
Why not?
because y is not completely alone.
Because y is not completely alone. It has a coefficient -2. So if it's multiplying the -2, how does it go to the other side? If it's multiplying, it goes
Divided.
dividing. Very good. So I need to pass that -2 dividing, but I'm going to pass that -2 dividing term by term separately, okay? Not just like when we had the input output table that we can go ahead and say, okay, everything divided by -2. No, in this case, it has to go term by term. So you're going to have y is equal 4 over -2 x minus 8 over -2. And we're going to simplify that, okay? If possible. In this case, it is. So y is equal to 4 divided by -2.
-2.
-2, very good, -2 x. Now you can see I got minus and a negative. So negative times negative,
Positive.
positive. 8 divided by 2,
4.
positive 4. And now we have the slope-intercept form equation. Let's identify M and B. What is M? What is the slope in this equation? What is the M in this equation?
-2.
-2, very good. And what is B?
4.
And we need to write it as an order pair, so it's gonna be 0, 4, okay? Now, it is really important for you to remember that we're looking for a rise and a run in our slope. Therefore, in this method of graphing, we need to have a fraction in the slope. It is or it is. Okay, we need to have it. So, do we have a fraction in our slope? No, right? How do I make that a fraction? How do I make this -2 a fraction?
Adding an imaginary one.
Added an imaginary one in the denominator. Very good. So I added over there my imaginary one in my denominator. And I'm ready now to find the rise and the run. In this case, my rise, up or down?
Down.
Down because it's negative. My run, right or left?
Right.
Right, because it's positive. Very good. Okay, next step. Graph the ordered pair of the intercept 0, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And you see how I actually don't need to make a really big coordinate plane. I just need to place how much amount I need. Okay, since I started in this with the rise, I'm going to start this one with the run. Okay, so the run is 1. So I go 1 to the right. And my rise is -2. So I go 2 down. So 1, 2. And exactly there is where I'm going to place my second point. I'm going to graph it, pass in a straight line through the middle of the points. Okay. And I don't forget to draw my arrowheads in my line. And that's it. Now, if you want to do it the other way around, that's fine as well. -2, the rise, so I go down. 1, 2, and the run is 1 to the right, 1. And you see, it doesn't matter how you do it, because at the end, you're going to have exactly the same point. Do you have any questions? Easy peasy breezy lemon squeezy, right? Okay, then. So basically, this is the last part of our topic. In our next class, we're going to be working in more of these exercises. We're going to be solving and practicing more of this type of exercises. And basically, let's place a name to our topic because we haven't. So what is the name of this topic? And it is all right there in the definitions. What's today's topic? Come on, what's the topic? I cannot open the chat. Sometimes it doesn't work. What's today's topic?
Slope-Intercept.
Slope-Intercept? What?
Form.
Slope-Intercept form? What? What did we graph? What are this? Down here, what are they? What are they? Slope-intercept form equations. Okay, that's what we're going to place as the name of the topic. Slope-intercept form equations. And with that, we finish the class for today.